Hi everyone, it's Laura from Divine Light Yoga. Today I'm talking about teen yoga, and one problem that I hear a lot of new teen yoga teachers coming up with is that when teens come into their class, or tweens, so that kind of 10, 11-year plus, especially with girls, when they come into the class and they have an idea of a pose that they would like to practice, and perhaps it's something that you have never practiced before, you've never taught before, and it's more of an advanced posture. So, what do you do when teens come in, especially when they're coming in with their Instagram account saying, I want to learn how to do this pose? And when you look at it, it seems like a really crazy pretzel inversion, and you're not even entirely sure of how to get into it. So, the first thing is that we never want to discourage teens from doing anything or achieving anything with their physical or mental body. So, we never want to say, oh no, we can't do that, it's too advanced, we don't practice that, I don't practice it, so you don't practice it. Nothing like that. We always want to be encouraging, inspiring, and educating them. So, the first thing I would suggest is if they come in specifically with a photo, which a lot of them do now because most of them have access to social media. So, if they come in with a photo, actually sit down and break down the pose. So, what is it that is required to get into this posture? So, actually asking them to really analyze the pose. So, physically, what do they need to do with their body to get into the pose? Do they need open hips, flexibility in the shoulders, core strength? Probably core strength, always core strength. Do they need to build up wrist flexibility? Do they need to learn how to release the shoulders? Do they need to open up the hamstrings? So, really breaking down, first of all, which body parts are needed, and are we strengthening? Are we stretching? Which part do we need to stabilize? Where do we need to bring more mobility into the body? And really educating the teens on this, but making it a group discussion as well. So, not just you need to do this, actually getting them to look, what parts of the body is this person using? Which parts of the body are they engaging? Which parts of the body are they opening? And from this, you can then start to prepare the physical body. So, if you can see from the posture and the teens can see from the pose that they need flexible hamstrings, open hips, stability in the pelvis, always stability in the pelvis, always core engagement and core strength, and they need shoulder strength. So then you can design your class around working on core and shoulder strength and flexibility through the hips and the hamstrings. And then some other things to really focus on is, what else does this person who's in the pose on Instagram, aside from their physical body, what else are they using to get into the pose? So probably a lot of focus. So really encouraging teens or getting them to brainstorm ideas on how they can increase their focus. Do they need balance to be able to go into this posture? Do they need coordination? Is there a lot of crossing over the body parts or bilateral movements, where one side of the body is doing something different to the other side of the body? For sure, the person who's coming into this pose is using their breath in order to maintain the pose, to stay strong and stable and focused in the posture. So again, talking with teens about what kind of breathing techniques is this person in the pose likely using, a strong, stable, steady breath, like Ujjayi breath, for instance. So after you've kind of dissected the pose, deconstructed it physically, looked at what else what you would need as a person, mentally, focus, mental balance, confidence, and then also looking at what kind of breathing techniques might be useful to come into that pose, then you can really start the preparation work. So, of course, encouraging teens that, we're going to try this, we're all going to try it as a group, but we need to work towards this pose. So yoga is a practice, it's not a perfect, it's not something that they are instantly coming into. We prepare our body and we practice with our body and we persevere and we keep the motivation and we keep working towards this physical posture. Now, obviously, the pose is not the end goal at all, but everything that comes together and all the skills, all the qualities, everything that we're practicing in order to come into this pose and maintain the pose is really what we're practicing through yoga. So in that first class, you've deconstructed the pose, and then you can start to prepare them mentally and physically for the posture. So it might be that you do, week one, focusing on opening up, flexibility in the hamstrings and the hips. Week two, focusing on core strength and shoulder strength. And then week three, looking at more to do with the focus. What kind of focus are we, doing mental focus activities, meditation, concentration activities, visual focus, focusing on their drishti. So after deconstructing the posture and looking at the qualities and the physical aspects, really using that to then plan your classes for the next few weeks so that you're mentally and physically preparing those teenagers to be working and practicing towards that posture. So that way teens can come away from the class feeling that they are able to ask you and connect with you and to really be able to be open and say, hey, I want to try this. Can we give it a go? And knowing that you as the guidance and the teacher are going to say, yeah, you know what, let's work towards this. They're also going to come away really with a lot more knowledge of anatomy, of what it takes to actually get into certain yoga poses. They're going to come away with a deeper understanding of the type of focus, the type of breathing techniques that are required, the type of coordination and the balance that they need, and really a deeper understanding of what yoga actually is, that it is a practice. It's an ongoing, lifelong practice. It takes a lot of patience, takes motivation and perseverance. And they're going to leave the class and maybe they haven't got anywhere near that pose. Maybe you haven't practiced that pose at all. You're just doing the foundational work. You're just preparing their body towards this kind of posture. But they're going to get so much more out of it than just doing the pose. And you are really going to inspire and educate them versus saying, no, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to teach that. I can't do it. Because you can do it, you can teach it. And perhaps this will help you to develop not only your teaching, but maybe develop your own personal practice as well. So I would love to know if you've ever had a teen in your class that has asked to do an advanced or a challenging posture, and if you found that difficult, or if you did deconstruct the pose and break it down and prepare them mentally and physically for it. Or if you have perhaps a posture yourself that you are practicing as a teen yoga teacher and you would like to get to the point where you can actually teach it. And so then you can use this kind of technique of deconstructing the pose, breaking it down, and just preparing yourself mentally and physically for it. So let me know below, post a little comment and let me know if you are teaching teens and what your next challenging or advanced posture might be that you're working with your teens with, or you're introducing to your teens. All right, thanks so much.